Liu Sheng's shadow clone surveys his new surroundings in the dark side universe, observing the pulsing, sickly green environment. He remarks on the overwhelming sensation of filth permeating the area. Our guy concludes that the defining characteristic of this dark universe is simply pure disgust. Examining his monstrous form, he notes that this body is approaching level 13 in strength and has grown far too powerful for the azure planet's abyss to contain. Looking up at the twisted sky, Liu Sheng realizes the mysterious dark entity must have intentionally brought him here. He reflects on this being from the dark side universe, which had been diligently feeding and raising his mutated avatar. Liu Sheng recalls that the entity who previously invaded the Heavenly Serpent Galaxy was a level 15 lord, meaning the one currently nurturing his clone is likely at level 14. Having already faced the level 14 Lord of Oblivion, Liu Sheng now has a basic understanding of the immense power these cosmic horrors wield. He feels his initial fear diminish as these dark entities are no longer complete mysteries to him. Controlling the mutated clone has become much more natural, a stark contrast to his early days of constantly fearing the entity would discover his true identity. Liu Sheng deduces that the dark entity wants his avatar to complete its promotion to level 13 within this chaotic world. Unfazed, Liu Sheng decides to attempt the breakthrough directly. He reasons that the clone is merely a disposable pawn, so any progress is a bonus, and he wouldn't care if the body was destroyed during the attempt. He considers the requirements for level 13, questioning what kind of cosmic law a creature born of the dark side universe could possibly comprehend to achieve it. Taking a pragmatic approach, he realizes his immediate priority is to accumulate a massive amount of power and gather enough energy before attempting an advancement. Embracing the brutal nature of his new environment, he declares that endless consumption and slaughter are the absolute rules of this dark realm. Acting on this instinct, the clone sprouts massive tentacles, commanding them to strike outward. The appendages pierce deep into the glowing green landscape, acting as conduits to siphon the surrounding power. The clone revels in the influx of energy as the tentacles rapidly absorb the environment's essence and funnel it directly into his core. Liu Sheng notes with satisfaction that this mutated body is completely indiscriminate and will consume absolutely anything it can grasp. Analyzing the dark side's version of the stellar law, he finds it surprisingly straightforward and decides to mimic the developmental path his main body has already established. Focusing on his structure at a microscopic level, he observes his glowing green mutated cells. Parallel to his main body's immortal cells, he decides to continuously evolve these and dubs them mutated immortal cells. Liu Sheng is shocked to discover that his clone's physical structure is already composed entirely of these specialized mutated cells. He marvels at this growth, realizing the single parasitic cell he originally implanted has aggressively multiplied into 30 million cells, forming a vast sea of energy. He knows the individual strength of a single mutated immortal cell cannot compare to the pure immortal cells of his main body. However, their sheer numbers more than make up for the lack of quality. Liu Sheng finally understands the dark entity's strategy. Instead of advancing the clone to the next evolutionary stage, it had poured all its energy into explosively multiplying the clone's base cell count. Since the clone previously operated on primitive instinct, it couldn't comprehend complex cultivation methods. If he hadn't taken direct control, the mindless avatar would have simply continued stacking cells until it reached a bursting limit before ever refining their quality. With his consciousness now fully in control, Liu Sheng resolves to actively seize the millions of cells and forcefully guide their evolution. Channeling his will, he draws upon the massive energy reserves he just absorbed to begin the process. He initiates a violent refinement process, forcefully compressing the chaotic raw power into a dense sphere of condensed energy. Liu Sheng successfully restructures the foundation of his dark avatar by aggressively devouring energy and forcing a single mutated cell through millions of harsh transformations. He has evolved it into a highly condensed core he calls a demon star. He equates this new power to the fire of divinity produced by his main body's immortal cells. Fitting the sinister nature of this universe, he names the destructive energy the fire of the demon realm. Having perfected the process for a single cell, Liu Sheng systematically compresses these newly formed demon star cells back into his alien body, rapidly scaling the process to thousands. He continuously ignites the remaining mutated cells, condensing their explosive power inward to forge a stronger vessel. Heartless dark purple flames ignite around him, burning fiercely as his power skyrockets. The massive tentacles on his back undergo their own evolution, growing significantly thicker and driven by an even greater hunger. Standing at the epicenter of this fiery storm, his avatar completes its terrifying metamorphosis, evolving into an entity of unspeakable horror. Meanwhile, on the bridge of the Star Spirit Flower, Shi Yanchen calmly oversees the ongoing battle as a crew member approaches with news. The subordinate reports that they have identified the enemy level 13 expert. The bandaged assassin is a top-tier wanted criminal in the Heavenly Serpent Galaxy, infamous for terrorizing over 200 star sectors. Thrilled by the prospect of a payout, the crew member adds that simply killing the pirate would yield a bounty equal to half of their voyage's profits, while capturing him alive would be exponentially more lucrative. Processing the intelligence, Shi Yanchen weighs the risks and rewards. She calculates that while executing the pirate would enhance the Chamber of Commerce's reputation, taking him alive would skyrocket their prestige to entirely new heights. Reviewing the assassin's bounty profile, she realizes the immense personal benefit this encounter presents. Securing a high-profile captive would be a flawless achievement, drastically improving her chances of becoming the next head of her family. Confident in their tactical advantage, she notes they have 3 level 13 masters pitted against a single opponent. Coupled with the spaceship's combat support systems, she considers the pirate's live capture an absolute certainty. Having made her decision, Shi Yanchen orders her subordinate to coordinate with the 3 masters and prioritize capturing the pirate alive. The crew member hesitates, questioning how they will power the ship's combat support systems for such a taxing operation. Unfazed by the logistical hurdle, Shi Yanchen decisively commands him to divert the massive energy reserves originally allocated for the ship's spatial jumps. Shi Yanchen firmly resolves to seize this golden opportunity to secure her political future. This is the end of the video. If you would like to watch the next part, please subscribe to our channel.